Hello TBC people, and this was the flagship Ninjago set for 2022, Lloyd's Golden Ultra Dragon. It retailed for $240 originally, which is an incredibly high price, and it was a 9 plus set with 989 pieces, released with the Ninjago Crystallized season. But in the calendar year of 2023, you can now find this set, like right now, anywhere from around 150 AUD to 180, which is a very, very good price, or not good price, reasonable price for anybody looking for a good set. But with that same amount of money, or even less, you could get one of the newer Ninjago Dragon sets, which is the Elemental Dragon versus the Empress Mech set. Now, at Lego.com, it's $170, but you can go to other places and it'll be a lot cheaper, maybe like $130 at lowest. But the real question that I'd like to answer is it more worth it to go with an older set from last year, or is it better to go with the newer set from this year? And has the dragon really improved that much in the span of 1 year? Well, the short answer is no, it's not worth it to get the newer dragon, especially if you're getting it for that really low $149 price tag for this dragon, that is, not the newer one. But let's dive into why. Alright, so to me, the first way to determine whether a set has good value or not is just what is included in the set. So in Lloyd's Golden Ultra Dragon from last year, we get a total of 9 minifigures. We'll get into them very, very soon, but we also get the dragon itself, obviously, and one very, very, very small side build, which this one's kind of broken, but yeah, that's what you get. And I don't own the Elemental Dragon vs Empress Mech set, sorry, but it does come with a total of 6 minifigures, one little dragon figure, a Mage's Elemental Dragon, which is obviously the main build, and the Villain Mech. And it's a very well-sized Villain Mech, I will say. But yeah, that's what both of the sets include. And so with that said, both sets obviously have a good amount of components to them, but it just really depends what you're looking for in a set. Like, if you guys want more minifigures, then go with the Ultra Dragon one. It has way more minifigures, a total of 9 minifigures compared to 6. And so if you guys are looking for minifigures to collect or minifigures to play with, definitely go for last year's set. But if you guys are looking for more builds, so since this year's set comes with 2 builds, which are reasonably sized builds, definitely get this year's set. So overall, I'd say that it's a tie in this category for value. But under another category for value, you may be comparing the price to piece ratio, which in this case, with this year's pricing for the Ultra Dragon, I think that the Ultra Dragon is definitely much better value. But it really does depend on the components as well, because you might prefer some of the components of the Ultra Dragon again, but yeah, it's really up to you and how you perceive value. So I'll give both of them a tie of 5 out of 5. But what about the design? Well, honestly, I'd go straight for the Elemental Dragon. Why? Well, mostly because this dragon really suffers in one key area, which is colors. So if I show you guys the rest of the dragon, you guys can see, ignore that USB port. But you guys can see that it is really just 2 colors and a couple of technical joints, which make it, I guess, sort of 4 colors. But the 2 main colors are white and gold. There are elemental accents, obviously, for each of the heads, but the main thing is that it's all white and gold. And that is only 2 colors. It's really, really boring, unlike the Elemental Dragon, which has multiple shades of blue, multiple shades of yellow, trans yellow throughout the whole thing. And that just looks so, so much better. But in terms of other aspects of design, like the actual building, I'd say both of them are very, very similar. I do definitely like how sort of massive the front of the Ultra Dragon looks. Like, if you guys look at the body there, you guys can see that it looks really, really beefy. Definitely looks like a very proud dragon, I would say. And yeah, I do definitely like that about this dragon. The other one is a lot skinnier, but it does fit for a lightning dragon in my opinion. So depending on which one you guys like, you guys could prefer this one just because, you know, all gold, you might think it looks really cool. And you might like how big it is. I do prefer the size of this one, but both designs really do work, and I really like the colors of the Elemental one, so I'll definitely give a point to the Elemental Dragon. Now this set has been reviewed to death, which is why I'm trying not to go too in depth with it, but you guys can see up the back on the tail area and all that stuff, it really just uses one piece for all the scaling. Like, it's very similar all around, unlike the Elemental Dragon, which uses a lot more different pieces to get a lot more unique of a shaping, I would say. But yeah, also, just like underneath, this dragon is a lot flatter. They've tried to keep sort of a nice curve. And they haven't done it too badly, but just with such a bulky dragon, such a large dragon, it's really hard to get good curve. So overall, I'd give probably like 4 points to the other one, the elemental dragon, while this one only receives 1. But yeah, that is all I will say for design. But what if you happen to be a minifigure person? Jeez. Well, if that's the case for you, I would definitely just go straight for the Ultra Dragon set. Just because the selection of minifigures here was a lot more complete. Sure, the new minifigures, the new ninja suits all look really, really good, especially Sora in that new dual molded hair combo. But just for the selection of minifigures, this straight up just beats it because it's got all 4 of the main original ninja, plus Lloyd, the main villain of the season, and 3 more henchmen. All of these are really, really incredibly detailed minifigures, 2 of which actually made it into my top 10 for best just best Ninjago minifigures in general. That's not to say that the new minifigures aren't bad. They are pretty good. I especially like Sora minifigure. Again, it's got arm printing, it's got a lot of detail, and as well as Lord Vaas and Empress Beatrix, they also have a lot of detail. But overall, just the completion of this set really, really helps. Just give this set just so much more, in my opinion. Just so much more value overall. And sure, the new one also has a little dragon minifigure, or micro figure if you would call it that. But you can get that in a lot more sets, which are cheaper as well. Unlike this, where you have to really collect each individual set for each of these ninja before you can actually get the full set of them. But if you just buy this set, you can get all of them at once. So I really do think that this set has great minifigure selection. Definitely going to give this set like a 3 for minifigure selection, and then the other set only a 2. But the other set does get a 2 just because it has the newer suits, so, you know, have to give it that. But what about playability? Now sure, obviously I don't own both sets, which is why I've only been showing the Golden Ultra Dragon today, but I have watched many videos on the playability for the Elemental Dragon, and I really think that they are both about equal in terms of playability. Now in terms of the dragon itself, the Golden Ultra Dragon definitely beats out the Elemental Dragon just because it has these wings. This wing mechanism is very unique. You guys can see there. Sure, it doesn't look the best, but it's definitely a very unique play feature, just in terms of playability again. It also has a lot more articulate features, like in this middle here. Like, that middle area is a lot more articulate than the J's one, and there's a lot more stuff on the tail, just because it's a much larger scale dragon. So yeah, definitely do really think that's really good. But Jay's dragon is also pretty articulate, really good posability all around. But the main thing that gets Jay's dragon set just a bit more in terms of the playability is the fact that it comes with a mech, so you can really just battle it out. And both of them are pretty ordinary in terms of everything, I'd say. Although the posability is pretty good on both of them. But yeah, definitely do give them equal just because the other one comes with the mech while this one doesn't. But this one still has really good playability in the folding wings and just articulation overall. For such a big dragon, it can really be posed quite a bit, even though it's a little heavy. So yeah, playability. Now the second last category I'd like to measure is aging. Now this is a very subjective topic, since many may argue that the Ultra Dragon comes out a lot less than a Lightning Dragon would. But if I told you that there were 5 Lightning Dragons in the last 12 years compared to 3 Ultra Dragons in the last 11 years, that gives a good mathematical equation for how likely the next one would be released, I would say. And so 12 divided by 5 gives you a total of 2.4. So approximately every 2.4 years, a new Lightning Dragon will be released. While for the Ultra Dragon, it will give you 11 over 3, which gives you approximately 3.6 years. So in terms of aging, I think that the Ultra Dragon is definitely a lot better in terms of aging. Also, it's a lot more unique of a concept, but I chose not to make concept the last thing. Instead, I've chosen to make another one. Since concept's pretty basic, I think the Ultra Dragon definitely beats out the Lightning Dragon, just because we barely get these in Ninjago. 3.6 years is quite a bit of time, so yeah. Aging and concept, Ultra Dragon. 4 points compared to 1 point for the Lightning Dragon, in my opinion anyways. Now the last topic is relevance. So, which dragon will be more relevant in the next few years? This one is incredibly difficult to measure, and I didn't really write anything down for this one, so I'm just going to go freehand, and I'm just going to say that I think that the J Dragon will actually be a bit more relevant than this one, sadly. mainly just because this one really celebrates the end of one era of Ninjago, while the J1 celebrates the beginning of a new one. But lightning dragons are a lot more common, and you see them a lot more in the Ninjago TV show when compared to a golden ultra dragon. This is a very specific thing, very specific for Ninjago crystallized, so yeah. I really wanted to give this one a bit more relevance since it is the last dragon released for the original Ninjago show technically, but just the fact that it's so specific and it really fits for Ninjago crystallized only, I really can't give it so high of a score. So I'll give 3 for the J Dragon and 2 for this one, since one celebrates the beginning of a new show and that one can be used a bit more, while this one is the end of the old show, but it can't be used that much in future, I guess. But yeah, let's wrap it all up. Alright, so I've just tallied up the score and it turns out that both of them actually ended up tying with 15 points each overall. But honestly, I'd still go for the Ultra Dragon. I made the point at the beginning that I would definitely go for the Ultra Dragon, and the main reason I would go for it is just because the pieces are so much more and the size of the dragon is a lot bigger and it's one piece as well. I prefer to display one set, a one-piece set over like 2 pieces like the mech and the dragon. And honestly, the mech's pretty subpar in my opinion. It's better than average, but yeah, I've just made an oxymoron, but it's better than average mech, but I still don't really like mechs that much, and I definitely prefer to display a massive dragon over a smaller dragon and another medium-sized mech. So I definitely go for the Ultra Dragon if I were you. This thing is very good value at $150. Or not very good value, but like, you got what I'm saying, for a licensed theme, not licensed, but like, for a LEGO theme like Ninjago, $150 for a beautiful set like this is really a good deal in my opinion. And yeah, again, lots of posability. I love displaying this thing so much. It's so beautiful. And I'm sure that the other dragon looks really good as well, but it's just a lot smaller, so it doesn't have that same feeling in my opinion. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Make sure you guys vote on my poll, because no one's actually voted. Actually, no, one person has. But yeah, I need more votes to see whether I should get the Samurai X Mech or the 2 Evo dragons, because the sale might be coming out soon. So yeah, stay tuned for whatever I do in the future. But anyways, that's all for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.